Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the world closely watches the escalating tensions in Ukraine and the Middle East, Russian President Vladimir Putin has once again drawn the attention of the international community. On October 2nd, during the Valdai Forum in Sochi, Putin delivered a speech lasting more than 3 hours, addressing nearly every pressing global issue of the moment, from the war in Ukraine and Western policy to the future of the global order. Yet, what truly sent shockwaves across the world was his final warning to the West. Warning to the West, a new message of deterrence. Putin made no attempt to conceal his stance. He stated bluntly that Russia's response to any escalation from Europe would be swift and decisive. During his remarks, he did not hesitate to criticize French President Emmanuel Macron, calling him a lame duck and labeling France a pirate nation, a clear reference to the recent seizure of a Russian oil tanker. According to Putin, Europe is trying to patch up the cracks in its own security architecture by constructing the image of Russia as the enemy. He also reminded the audience that Russia had twice sought to join NATO, first in 1954 and again in 2000, but was rejected both times. Russia attacking NATO? That's absurd, Putin remarked. Europe and the price of arrogance. Putin blamed Europe for driving the war to a point of no return. According to him, had Donald Trump been in power, the war in Ukraine could have been avoided. He warned that the West is pushing itself into the most dangerous confrontation since the Cold War, emphasizing that Russia is now the most heavily sanctioned nation in the world, yet all those efforts have failed. A message to the United States and Donald Trump. Notably, Putin devoted significant attention to Donald Trump, whom he described as straightforward, sometimes shocking, but willing to listen. He remarked that the Trump administration was clear and unapologetic about pursuing its own interests without hypocrisy. When asked about Trump's earlier remark calling Russia a paper tiger, Putin responded coldly, "If Russia is a paper tiger, then what does that make NATO?" Russia on the battlefield, and a signal for negotiation. According to Putin, Russian forces now control 2/3 of the Kupiansk area, have advanced deep into Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka, and are holding the initiative along the entire front. He also claimed that Ukrainian losses in September exceeded 44,000, with 150,000 soldiers deserting the front lines. Yet amid his hardline tone, Putin unexpectedly sent a softer message. "I hope the Ukrainian elite will find the strength to sit down at the negotiating table." Weapons, tomahawks, and the information war. One of the most talked about questions at the Valdai Forum was whether the United States might supply Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. Putin dismissed the claim, calling it an illusion. He stated, "Ukraine has no warships, no submarines, no launch systems. Even if it received them, they would be destroyed almost immediately." In reality, analysts interpret Putin's words as both a warning and a mockery, a reminder that Russia understands the Tomahawk would not alter the battlefield balance. Strikes on infrastructure, a winter of punishment. Meanwhile, the conflict continues to escalate. Russian forces have concentrated their attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, leaving vast regions in widespread blackouts. According to the Financial Times, Russia's upgraded missiles are now capable of piercing Ukraine's air defenses, reducing the interception rate from 37% to barely 6%. Several UAV production facilities and Patriot defense systems have reportedly been destroyed, while Europe remains entangled in endless, fruitless conferences. Diplomatic deadlock and the final message. While Kyiv continues to speak of attacking Crimea, most experts believe such an operation is virtually impossible. Putin concluded his speech with a cold yet unmistakable warning. If the West continues to escalate and refuses to negotiate, Russia's next proposals will become increasingly severe. It was not merely a message to Ukraine, but a warning to the entire West that in the grand geopolitical chessboard, Moscow is prepared for every scenario. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in our next analytical report.